back to our channel. We're Dos Cavazos, and this is My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 24.
So I'm pretty sure this is the last episode of My Villain Academia. And the last episode, honestly, was the most sad, tragic moment that I feel like we've ever seen in My Hero up to this point.
It was pretty crazy to see Shigaraki's backstory like that. We had a lot of speculation around it, but it turns out that it was what happened to him. And like, he just killed his whole family, but then he kind of liked it at the same time.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show why he is how he is now. It was just an intense episode.
Yeah. This episode, well, the last episode was titled Tenko Shimura Origin. This one is Tomura Shigaraki Origin. So I feel like this episode's gonna kind of play out similar to the last episode in the sense that the fight between Redestro and Shigaraki is gonna continue on. And then we're gonna maybe have some flashbacks to, I'm hoping, a lot of their interactions that Shigaraki had with All For One, because that's still another big question mark in my opinion. You know, we saw All For One walk up on Shigaraki when he was a kid shortly after like those events, and he like, you know, facilitated that thing, gave him like his family's hands. But I still feel like that's very opportune timing for All For One to just walk up on him. So I feel like he had been monitoring him. And I'm hoping we get some sort of answer to that. Maybe, you know, you threw out the possibility, what if All For One somehow gave Shigaraki this power of decay in the first place? And how crazy that could be. That was just like a theory that I'd never thought of before, but something that kind of made a little bit of sense. But the only question, I guess, there is like, how would he have done that? But if he were to have done that, to make these events happen, that'd be like some wargaming, like this whole situation to, you know, manipulate it the way you want it to go. All right, well, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our Patreon if you want to watch our full-length reactions.
We also do have a second channel called Dos Cavazos IRL where we do vlogs and other non-reaction content. And if you want to check that out, the link's down below.
All right, let's jump into this episode.
What was I supposed to do? Someone, I thought. Anyone. Please tell me.
He's so little.
Save me.
Oh, they just
nobody even paid attention to him.
My voice locked away. I couldn't say anything.
Hi there. Are you okay? What's the matter, honey?
Oh my gosh.
The police officer will be here soon.
Aww.
I have to go or else I'll be late to work.
Stuff that takes priority over a lost kid wandering the streets.
Oh, he's scratching again.
And then the only one who's going to extend that olive branch is going to be All For One.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get a lot of information, I feel like, in this episode about All For One and Shigaraki.
Yeah.
You've such an urge to destroy that it's impossible for you to control it or keep it below the surface. You don't have to endure that.
What the heck?
Our street brat. What the hell do you
He's
think
gonna
you're
fucking
doing
kill him.
out
He's still
here,
wearing red
huh? We're gonna let
shoes.
you off easy because you're a little baby?
Oh,
He's
he's
gonna
gonna
kill him, yeah.
make you dust.
Wait, he's hesitating. He
Is
doesn't
he
want to do it
learning
again.
to like
What do you want to do?
destroy? Isn't that what he wants?
Guys who hit me. They want to kill them. I don't know why.
Those guys that hit him.
And I can't hold back much longer.
He just wants to take
Yeah,
revenge.
he's just smiling.
Do your best.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna kill him now.
He's like that guy in Rick and Morty that I just can't stop killing. Oh gosh.
shit.
Oh, he had his little outfit.
You will carry your family close to your flesh to ensure that those feelings never fade.
Oh. How can he see through the hand?
He will be the symbol of fear that
The
creates
symbol of
destruction.
fear.
Already he has taken the first grand step toward greatness. You've been reborn. Celebrate your new life with the hands of those gutter punks. Now, stand tall. Show me who you are. Tomura Shigaraki.
Wow.
From Tomurao, a verb that means to mourn. Tenko Shimura is no more.
What about Shigaraki?
My last name, of course.
Oh shit! Wow. He really took him in.
Yeah.
I just want
Oh.
to live however we want to. These are no longer necessary.
Oh my gosh.
Because they helped like to
I feel like he's
restrain
gonna
it.
take out Redestro.
So what are you truly capable of?
I understand how fun it is to destroy something you
His
hate,
voice
but
changed.
that's not happening here.
He's not as like
He's more deliberate.
reserved, I
yeah.
guess. Yeah. More confident.
Yeah.
It's like, I liberated myself.
Yeah.
This is Detnerat's patented
Oh my
That
gosh.
freaking Hulkbuster.
Pressure mechanism claustro.
Claustro.
Bet that feels nice.
Who are you, Shigaraki?
Good luck.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. I don't even think they're gonna need Gigantomachia to take
I know,
out
I feel like
Redestro at this
Shigaraki's
point.
gonna like go plus ultra. What's the opposite? Plus negative? Negative ultra?
Did he just shatter the whole freaking
I don't
thing that
think
he
it
just
did-
put on?
No.
So 150% you said? Going all plus ultra on me?
Master successor.
He's gonna see this and like he's gonna like be okay. I follow you now, Gigantomachia.
It's as though this man has changed.
Because he awakened. You liberated him indirectly.
He's been liberated from everything.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, she's like, okay.
So this is him destroying everything then.
Yeah.
So Gigantomachia didn't really even do that. What the heck?
Destroy it all.
His hair.
Oh, that's his hair turned.
Gigantomachia is just like, oh my gosh, he's just like fleeing.
And Redestro had to use like an equipment
Everything, yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like Shigaraki didn't need equipment. He just needed his own little level up.
He's gonna be like, alright, I follow you now. Oh my
Oh, wow.
gosh.
Did your feet touch the ground? Too bad. You must have cut them off to keep your body from disintegrating, huh?
Oh man.
Why were we fighting again?
The Grand Commander has been hurt.
It can't be.
If he sees him take him out, like,
What are they gonna do?
The one who should be at the forefront of liberation. The one who will create the world you dreamed of. The person who embodies freedom.
is that gonna be Shigaraki?
Young man laughed off our history and bloodline, saying they were restricting me. I see.
Is he gonna follow him now?
The figure before me is a shining beacon.
Well, he's going to it.
The Meta Liberation Army is now under your command.
Oh. Yeah, he is becoming the new freaking All for One.
Yeah. And look
Oh.
at his great successor.
Aw. Now he's gonna follow him.
Toga, please forgive me. But if you hadn't shared your blood with Toga,
She okay?
right now other Toga would
Please
be...
stop
Oh.
battling your
That was like the one that they took the blood transfusion
Welcome and thank you for coming, Liberation Warriors.
for. Gigantomachia.
He's just there.
Today,
Shigaraki?
the Meta Liberation Army will be reborn! This is not me surrendering, my friends! It's me doing what's best for our cause. Tomura Shigaraki is truly free! From this moment, the Liberation Army recognizes Tomura Shigaraki as
Wow, so he just took over this.
the Metahuman Liberation Army and the League of Villains unite under a
Ah,
new
what is
name.
what?
The idea came from myself and Spinner from
Spinner?
the Now, the name please! Tomura Shigaraki!
The Paranormal Liberation Front.
Oh my gosh.
We got rid of the term villain and expanded on the whole meta angle to be a little more inclusive. 9 people on stage are my lieutenants.
Okay.
Wow.
Teams will be assigned to them based on our needs. The name's the same as this hand. A decoration.
No, just a decoration. He doesn't need it anymore. Wow.
Excellent work today, Grand
The
Commander.
shift in him, he's just like fanboy.
Drink.
He's a stan.
With pleasure!
Oh!
How painful. I hate seeing him like this.
Your memory is back, and you've returned to your original self, quirk included. So as I promised, I will grant you power if you're sure that's what you want.
Wow. Ooh, that was interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were gonna end up joining forces.
I know. I thought he was gonna. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
thought he was gonna take command of it, but I
But
didn't
I
know
thought
that
he
they
was
were
gonna kill Redestro, but Redestro just like saw him like, you're the true leader, you know.
He's like, I was held back by my heritage. You are not. Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about like if it plays out like this, and because they're still planning their stuff, and the stuff that Hawks was giving Endeavor all the information about the attack. Like they're gonna have to fight like Shigaraki at the front of this, but it's like I don't know. It just seems more daunting now with
Yeah.
Shigaraki having like Gone plus ultra, but like that's not even the limit of his powers. He's gonna get more power here.
Yeah. I also feel like, I mean, I kind of liked Shigaraki before, but I feel like after learning his backstory, I like him so much more as a villain,
Yeah.
not as a person.
Why does he have like that, like legit, like Anakin feel at this point? You know, some like that tragic thing where he wasn't always bad, and
I do love a morally ambiguous character. Well, I don't think he's morally ambiguous at this point.
Yeah.
He was as a kid, but that passed quickly.
So it played out slightly different than what I had thought. I thought we were gonna have to kill Redestro, and that like I guess people were gonna see him, and then just kind of like, okay, you were like that. It's almost kind of like an army without a leader. What did they do?
Right.
They would probably gravitate to the next
follow the one who
strongest
killed
person.
their leader. That's like typical. But yeah, I just the fact that Redestro just changed so quickly to being like fanboy Stan. It's funny. Part of me is kind of glad he didn't die because now the story can be like more interesting because now Shigaraki has this access to like this unlimited funds as well, essentially.
Yeah, he's like a benefactor.
You know, and then this army. Not that that's good for the heroes because that's really bad.
But it makes the storyline
story.
intriguing. Yeah, I'm like so excited for. I think it's gonna play out in the next season. Like this whole army and this attack that. You know, Hawks was alluding to with like his tips off to Endeavor, and all the while Shigaraki is so much stronger than he was, and looks like he's only going to get more strong because he's going to get like the power that the doctor had promised him.
I wonder what it's going to be.
I don't even know at this point, to be honest. Is it going to be something that's going to be similar to All for Ones, that he could actually like transfer powers and stuff like that?
I don't know. I mean, All for One could, in theory, have so many quirks.
But in
like just ready.
Yeah, in the second My Hero movie, remember there was like that villain that Shigaraki was giving like power to?
9?
Yeah, 9, and he was like. Maybe that was like an experimental run for something that was going to end up happening to him at some point because he could have like up to 9 multiple quirks too. So maybe Shigaraki could have multiple quirks like that. It could be something like, oh, I could use this temporarily and then I can go get this one. So maybe it's not going to be like all the way up to the power of All for One, but something similar to it. But we also found out that Shigaraki's last name is freaking All for One's last name.
Yeah, Shigaraki.
Yeah, that is crazy. We got a name drop there. So I'm like really excited for this next season because it's just like they've set up so many storylines in this season. Whereas like, you know, the last season ended with you know, All for One's brother, or like, you know, the entities, the previous wielders of All for One, like kind of showing Deku something, and they talked about like the ninth user. But like this season has obviously set up the death of the League of Villains, and now the Paranormal Liberation Front, which, you know, them joining forces with the Liberation Army. And that's not even talking about, you know, what the big moment in like earlier in the season when they set up the fact that Deku is going to have all these extra quirks, and he's only got one of them so far. So I feel like during this battle with the Paranormal Liberation Front, I feel like he's going to probably discover these quirks because I sure as hell think he's going to need them now to beat Shigaraki. Whereas it seemed like earlier in the season, because of like the way they did this season, it almost kind of felt like, you know, when Deku mastered All for One, Shigaraki was always like a presence in the background, but he hasn't really taken the forefront a lot in the last season and a half, possibly. Like, it almost kind of seemed like he kind of took a little bit of a back burner, and then obviously he was kind of working with Overhaul and whatnot at the beginning part of season 4, sort of, you know, kind of working with him, but that whole bullet too, I feel like it's going to be expanded on there too, and that might be, I don't even know at this point. Maybe how to make more Nomus. Maybe that's going to end up being like, as they made the second movie with 9 when he got the powers based off of that. And, you know, he was trying to get Twice to mimic that. But that was also before he actually expanded his quirk and became stronger. So now I wonder if Twice will be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Another thing you talked about Deku, it's like, I wonder if he's going to go through the process of being liberated, too, in this fight, because it seems like everyone's getting liberated, so... but, you know, if you think about it that way, the League of Villains and the Liberation Army kind of had the same ideals, they just, like, were different. Like, they went about it in different ways and, like, had different... They were, like, different ends of the spectrum for the same cause, in a sense. And so it makes sense for them to join together, because they're all just about, like... I guess getting away from the societal standards of, like, you know, how they perceive the quirks, like the rest of the society, and how, like, they're kind of natural right to have quirks. Even though Shigaraki's kind of a little different in the sense that he just has a lot of trauma from his childhood. Yeah,
we mentioned it at the outro and, like, when the credits were playing, but, you know, it kind of... the storyline with Shigaraki really kind of reminds me of like, you know, the storyline with Anakin Skywalker, which we know, like, you know, the creator of this series really, or this manga, really loved Star Wars and took a lot of inspiration from that. And I can kind of see it a little bit too, you know, like that tragic backstory where he, you know, he wanted to be a hero when he was a kid. And then like he went through this traumatic experience, which at the end of the day, when he killed them, he made those remarks like, you know, I was kind of like free a little bit. Like he wanted to kill his father, but it's almost kind of like when he killed his mother, his grandparents, and his sister. That was like the last little thing holding like him together a little bit.
Or he went to the dark side.
Yeah, because he said he got like free after that. So it's kind of like, okay, he was free from those restraints of like keeping himself in like, you know, this normal reality of just being like, oh, you know, a kid and wanting to be a hero. And then it was just like,
he wanted to destroy.
Yeah, but then what could have happened if like somebody had actually been there for him that actually was like, okay, well, you got some issues, but we could work through these issues type
Imagine
of thing.
if Nana would have been there like alive for that to like help him and raise him and train him, you know.
Yeah, that, I mean, that would have been like a whole tragic thing, obviously, but I imagine that she was dead before.
I think she had to have been, because I feel like that's why the father was so like salty about it all, like because she probably had died, and I mean obviously it's like she wrote that letter like
that was like the letter I feel like that she wrote before she died, because it said like, you know, if I don't come back or something like that, or alluded to something along those lines. But yeah, it's just kind of tragic because All For One, we didn't actually see like how what I thought before the episode was going to happen, like where he kind of like maybe had planned this out a little bit for these events to happen and Shigaraki to kill his family. But I still think that there's still a possibility, and like, you know, that could still be like a reveal later on, because it still just seems too opportunistic for it to have happened, for him to run into him in the first place. But
maybe it was just a happy coincidence.
I mean, not a happy coincidence. But yeah, I mean, to me, that just seems like a little bit of a stretch. I feel like there'd be more, but I mean, I guess we'll see, because this series does like a really interesting job of like giving you a hint of something and then paying it off really, really later in the series. So you know, we still don't even know who the traitor is at UA.
Yeah,
like, I'm still waiting for them to come back to that one. Yeah, that's still our ongoing theory. It's the principal. But I really actually think, you know, to tie that back into like the Liberation Army, or now the Paranormal Liberation Front, I feel like they were a part of that, and like in that sense, and they weren't part of the League of Villains because we have made no reference to them before. But now that we're a part of this, like with the Liberation Army, got the whole Paranormal Liberation Front. That's a mouthful to say.
The PLF.
Yeah, they're gonna have an acronym. But yeah, I feel like maybe we'll finally get those answers if the traitor is a part, or was a part of the formerly Liberation Army.
Alright, well, if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you can stay notified for all of our future videos.
Also, head over to our Patreon if you want to watch our full-length reactions to the series. We upload them over there. The link's down in the description below.
Okay, we'll see you all next time.
Bye, everyone.